All right, welcome to Little Pod That Could. My guest today is Alex Emerson. He's a minor league baseball player playing for the Mavericks, which we'll get into a little bit more detail. Alex, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on, Kevin.
Yeah, man, for sure. And let's start I know you kind of, but I don't know you that well. So, kind of can you provide a little bit of context for people who are listening? They're like, okay, minor league baseball player, who are you though?
Well, shoot, I was born and raised here in Salem, Oregon,
Okay.
and so this league it's based out of Kaiser, Salem Kaiser, and I just remember growing up watching the Volcanoes play when they were affiliated with the Giants, and I just always thought, man, I really hope one day I can play on this field, and it's kind of like a dream come true. This independent league has come to town, and I just thought I can't not try out for it. And so I've been like 2 years in retirement. I graduated from Western in 2017 as a pitcher, and I played 2 summers of men's league in the Willamette Valley Men's League baseball, and 2 years
That's
after
just
that.
for fun, right? That's not, or is that a competitive?
Oh, it's competitive, but it's all just for fun. I mean, it's all
Okay,
just for the love of the
okay.
game. Just guys getting together on a Sunday playing a doubleheader and whatnot. If
But
you
it's not
can
like guys
practice a little
trying
bit.
to get into the big leagues.
No, that is not trying to get into the big leagues.
Okay,
No,
okay,
you wouldn't ever expect to see a pro scout in the stands at a men's league game.
okay.
But
All right.
yeah,
I'm gonna ask
and
some stupid questions because I don't know anything about baseball. Just for the
oh, you're
record, letting
fine.
everybody know ahead of time.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, but no, this league is definitely the one you want to be in if you want to be seen by the next level. And
Okay.
so I just thought I had to do it because I remember. I've always had dreams of playing in the pros, but basically after 2016, after I kind of got benched that whole season after my Tommy John surgery, I like those dreams kind of just faded out the window. And it wasn't
Okay.
until after I graduated I was like fully recovered mentally and physically. And I'm like, well, my shot's up. I won't have a chance ever again to be seen by anybody because all I got is men's league. And I had some guys tell me, dude, go down to Texas, play in their farm league. That's where you'll get seen. I'm like, I mean, I got family here. I just started working here. I got a career here. I can't just like
Mm-hmm.
drop everything up and go. And so I worked. I played a little bit of men's league for 2 years, and then when the team kind of faded away because a lot of guys were getting married, having kids, couldn't meet up. The team faded, and I didn't want to join any of the other teams. So I just kind of hadn't really played ball for 2 summers, and then I think my dad saw on the news or got an email about it, and he told me. And the next day, I sent an email to the league saying, "Hey, can I try out? This is my story. Do I qualify?" And it said they were looking for a bunch of like drafted and released players and college guys with pro aspirations. And so I'm like, hey, let me try this. I fit the bill. So I went out,
Hmm.
and honestly, when I went out to tryouts, it kind of just seemed like anybody could have showed up to try out. There were some really good ball players out there, but there were also some guys that were
Some
just
men's
trying.
league. Some men's
Yeah,
league guys. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Um. And so, were you? What were you? Because I would see you from time to time on social media. You look like you were still getting swole. You were still working out, being active. What were you doing? So you graduate from college, and then what do you do after that?
Well, I got my degree in sports and exercise science, and like right
Okay.
after college, I just went into becoming a personal trainer full time as my gig. And I mean, working in a gym really did keep me in shape. I didn't just want to be a good trainer; I also wanted to look the part. So I continued
Sure.
to train myself like 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and I mean, it really helped me from deteriorating and becoming less of an athlete. And so when this opportunity came around, I was already in pretty dang good shape. I remember like I don't know, 8 months leading up to when I first found out about it, I was like going through the most rigorous part of my exercise routine, and I was trying to hit some new personal bests. I really wanted to deadlift 500, squat 400, bench 300. Never got to that deadlift mark, but doing all that, just setting some personal goals, kind of set me in a spot for this opportunity in a perfect time. And so I felt like going into these tryouts, I was in the best shape of my life, way better than I was in college. Even though we had great trainers, especially at Western, Corey Mesker over there, she kicked our butts on a daily and put us in great shape. But being a personal trainer definitely helped me stay focused on that because I do know some teammates. I've seen them on social media. Some have kind of uh, let themselves go a bit. They no longer are in that gym setting. And honestly, when
Sure.
I graduated, I took like 6 months off of training. Like I was burnt out. It felt like a job at that point, lifting weights. But after a little break, I wanted to get right back into it. So
And so you were when you were trying to hit those personal marks, it wasn't for anything other than just like having a goal. It wasn't like you were training for something
no,
specifically, right? Okay.
I
Okay.
had no goals of like going into competitions or anything like that. I honestly just wanted to see what I could do, what my body could accomplish,
Okay.
and yeah.
And now are you still like is that still your gig? Is that still what you're doing?
Yeah, so right
Okay.
now I just recently left a job. I used to be a head trainer at a gym in Silverton, and I just recently moved gyms to a new place in Silverton. And I
Do you want to
basically did
shout this
that
place
because,
out or is it like
well, now, okay, so I used to work at Silverton Anytime Fitness, and I work at this place
uh-huh.
called Total Body Health. And at
Okay.
Silverton Anytime Fitness, there was like no chance I was going to be able to get any time off for this baseball season. So I kind of just quit with the thought in mind, I'm just going to go into online training. That'll give me a lot of time to focus on baseball, focus on myself. But like literally the last day of work, I walked out and went over to this new club because I knew I was going to have a lot of my clients follow me from my old place, and a lot of them are older and not very tech savvy, and I wasn't going to try to ask them to get an app on their phone and follow along with my online workout routines. So I was just gonna go hunt for a gym that would let me come in once or twice a week just to train a few individuals. And when I went in there, they showed me an office. They're like, "This could be your office. You want to come over here?" Like, so I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, let's do it." But I have some limitations on my availability through the summer. I only want to work Monday through Wednesday because I'm leaving Thursday through Sunday open for ball. And they're like, absolutely perfect. That's fine. And honestly, it's the best thing I could have done. I feel like a free man rather than an employee slaving away Monday through Friday. I'm able to
Yeah.
be an independent contractor and just kind of own my own schedule. And it really worked out for the best.
Okay. And so has that happened? Did your clientele pretty much just migrate
Yeah.
over with you to the new gym?
Yeah, about
Okay.
95% of them. There's like two that stayed behind, but that's just because they're locked into memberships.
Sure. Now I remember too. It seemed like you were doing like baseball specific stuff, training
I
wise, for a
was.
while too. Is that not happening anymore?
Well, I mean, I'll take on any athlete that wants to come with me and like has thoughts of going on to the next level and playing college ball or track, basketball, whatever it is. I've trained volleyball players, basketball players, but mostly baseball players are attracted towards me just because of my baseball background. And I did help a few kids. I didn't have a whole lot of exposure to them. I only had a few clients, but there were a few that I helped get into the college level. The only one on the top of my mind, Mason. I can't remember his last name. It's been like 3 years since I've worked with him, but I helped him through some tendonitis in his elbows and really helped him kind of get his athleticism back. And he went on to be a pretty successful pitcher over at Chemeketa. I don't think he went on to play after Chemeketa, but he was definitely a really reliable reliever for their pitching staff over there. Um, and there were a few others that still hadn't gone out of high school, but I have some clients over there that definitely still have some college potential that I should honestly reach back out to, and they probably don't even know where I'm at right now. What that I moved
Yeah.
gyms.
And
But
let's maybe talk about too, because your high school baseball team was not great, correct?
yeah, no, not good,
Yeah.
not good at all.
So I was just guessing, but can you kind of talk about because I do think some of that, and the coaching basketball, I saw a little bit of this too, where the playing in college is so foreign and so unexpected. Like people don't really know how to navigate it when it's their first time. You played at a school where obviously you're not going to be seen by a ton of people just because your team's not very good. How did you navigate like where you were going to go play after high school?
Well, it honestly, I was really fortunate to have the like my parents. My parents really helped get me exposed to some like college scouts. They took me my junior and senior year out to a lot of camps. I remember going to baseball factories Under Armour camp at Willamette University, and after that, they invited me out to play for the USA team and whatnot. I didn't really know too much about it, but that was gonna be like another 5 grand out of pocket to go down to Arizona and play. And I had a talk with my parents. They're like, "Hey, we'll take you there, but that's going to be the last thing we do for you. Or we could take that money and like send you to like 4 or 5 other camps around the West Coast." And I'm like, "Let's do that instead. I don't need to go down to Arizona, 5 grand out of pocket, and maybe get 2 innings on the mound and like 3 at bats
Hmm.
just to like hopefully have a good showing." And so I thought,
Right.
so I went to a bunch of like Baseball Northwest, Pac West camps in Idaho, down at OSU and in Corvallis. Um, Actually, quite a few in Corvallis, but yeah, I just wanted more exposure rather than just one big time show,
And
and that
did
definitely
you get the exposure at those camps that you were hoping for?
I did. I got a
Okay.
lot more
Okay.
attention from coaches, but like I mean, going through my last year, my senior year at McKay, definitely didn't have any big time names showing up at my games. It was more like all the junior colleges in the area, Mount Hood, uh, not Clark, LB, Shemeketa. They were all coming and talking to me quite a bit. I did quite a few campus visits, overnighters with some of the players, and but honestly, if it wasn't for JJ Moscolo at Shemeketa being my head coach the summer after I had graduated, he was the coach of my post 58 Canyon Crushers team. It was the first year we were in affiliation in American Legion Ball, and
Hmm.
he was like the greatest coach I've had. Like really good guy that just helped me mature mentally and get me ready for college ball. And I remember after our first game, he was like, "Hey, what do you think about coming and playing for us at Schmeketa? We'd love to have you." And I remember seeing him and talking to him a little bit after some of our high school games. And I never really committed because I had all these other coaches talking to me, and I really wanted to go to Mount Hood because they were like the top dogs at the time. They were always winning the NWAC, and so I was pretty set on them until I had JJ as my coach. I'm like, I want this guy. Like this guy knows me. He knows how to talk to me, and so that kind of sealed the deal.
So if there are high school baseball players playing on a team that's not that great, or anybody that's just trying to get more exposure, would you recommend the route you took, trying to go to as many camps as possible and get
Yeah,
exposure that way? Okay.
absolutely. I would say the more camps you can go to, the more you hustle in those camps, the more that you show them that you just want to get better, the more questions that you ask, the more you're gonna attract attention to yourself. And like
Okay.
you, you can't expect to just be seen, even if you're on a winning team. You can't expect to be seen by a college scout. You need to go to these because all the scouts will go to these camps. Like they are going there to look for talent. They don't have time in their
Hmm.
schedule to go to all these high school games. So
Right.
I highly recommend going to baseball camps for sure.
And it was the same thing, with basketball, like AAU versus high school teams. Those scouts would go to AAU tournaments because everyone there at those is like a serious basketball player. Where if you're high school, you go to high school games, you may see like the lineman that just wants to like play basketball. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily like it's a better use of their time, which sucks because the AAU circuit for basketball has a lot of issues. But
Yeah.
yeah, so okay, so that makes sense. So then you go to Shemeketa. Were you there for 2 years?
I was there for 2 years. Yeah,
Okay,
2013 and 14. Got a few awards there, mostly as like a utility guy because I don't think they want to do award me first team all league outfield and pitcher.
okay,
So they gave me first team all league utility. I did get Gold Glove in the outfield there and caught the attention of Western, or actually there were a few schools. OIT. There was one really small D1 that I can't even remember the name of. I helped get some exposure by being invited to the what was the sophomore showcase in Olympia, Washington for like all of the GNAC. And
okay.
honestly, that was terrible. It was such a rainy day. We all couldn't get on the field. We had to go inside the facility. I had 15 pitches on the mound to show off what I could do. I got 2 rounds in the
Wow.
batting cages to show off what I could do. It really wasn't much, but afterwards I did have a few coaches come up to me and like hand me their brochures for the universities and be like, hey, we'd love to have you as a two-way guy. But honestly, I just consider myself such a homebody that when Western Oregon came asking me to come play for them, I'm like, that's the closest place home I can be. So I took it. Um,
Hmm.
and I just felt like I would get most of the playing time over there uh, with it being a D2 rather than a D1. And I was all about just playing time. I didn't want to be an
Sure.
underclassman and sit on the bench because I knew I wouldn't get better if I was on the bench.
Well, and that's a lot of times like the reality check you want athletes to have is like go where you can play and have success and have a good
Hmm.
experience versus, going to play D1, sit on the bench and just so you can say you played D1, So that's
Yeah,
that was
that would be the
probably
that would be the biggest advice I'd give someone like especially fresh out of high school. Like if you were an all-star, like if you have some like God-given talent and you're like throwing 92 as a senior and you have these D1 coaches or scouts knock on your door and ask to come play, I would say no, go the JUCO route. Grow like you got 2 more years to mature and you will be playing every single inning if you go to a JUCO. But if you're a freshman going D1, still throwing 92, you're probably not going to see much playing time until your junior year, maybe your sophomore year if you're lucky. Um, and I've seen it happen to a lot of guys. Even the year I graduated with, there were some guys from like South and West that I think that went to OSU that didn't see playing time until their junior years, and that would have sucked. I mean, I had the greatest time just playing every inning over at Chemeketa, playing JUCO
hmm.
ball, and then going to Western. It looked really promising until I injured my elbow, and then I kind of just got sat the rest of my college career, and so
Okay.
it was
So
just
let's
the
talk
way the
about that.
cards were drawn.
Do you injure your elbow? Was it a pitching injury?
Yeah, it
Because
was
isn't
it was
Tommy
like right
Tommy
after
John
exit
surgery is like
meetings.
okay? Because Tommy
Yeah,
John is usually like an overuse injury, right? Like then that's why they have to do that
it
surgery.
definitely was.
Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, throughout my senior year of high school through maybe I probably went all the way through my sophomore year of college. I definitely had a few games there where I was really stubborn and I told my coaches, do not take me out. I'm going to pitch this game. And I would pitch 10, 11 innings. There were three
Hmm.
games in mine where I went over 170 pitches, and that is a no-no for sure.
Jeez.
You definitely
Yeah.
don't want to go past like 100, 110. And
Right.
I think that wear and tear definitely uh, led up to the injury. And so it was like right before winter started. We were about to go away for winter break. We had exit meetings like a week before, but we had like one more week before leaving town. So we were out on the field during practice. It was like 38 degrees. I was warming up playing long toss in the outfield, and my arm felt a little tight. But I'm like, no, I felt this before. I'll just work my way through it. I'll run a little bit more, make sure I get a sweat going. And I threw in the
Hmm.
bullpen like 20 pitches, made sure I was nice and loose. I'm like, okay, it's feeling good. Then I get out on the mound, throwing live BP to some of our batters, and I think it was like the second pitch in, I threw a curveball and just like my elbow exploded, and I couldn't feel anything from my elbow down, like no sensation in my fingers, couldn't even squeeze my fist. And I remember our
Whoa.
catcher was like, "You want to throw a few and just kind of see how it feels?" I'm like, "Dude, I can't even move my fingers. What are you talking about?" And our coach said, "No, go inside right now. Go see the trainer." And so the trainer took a look at my elbow. There was no discoloration, just like a lot of swelling. Couldn't bend it at all.
Hmm.
She's like, "Okay, we're just gonna see how this plays out for the next week. Come in, see me first thing tomorrow before practice, and we're gonna evaluate it." And I came in the next day. I couldn't bend my elbow more than like 30 degrees. It was pretty bad. And honestly, on their part, I kind of I'm not very happy kind of reflecting back onto it. I wish they instantly would have just taken me in and got an MRI to just kind
Yeah.
of see what was going on internally.
Right.
But the trainer was like, you know what, there's no discoloration. Let's just try to rehab through this. Let's just see what we can do. So basically, we rehabbed through it, kind of got it back up to strength after 4 months of rehab. And then we went down to Reno to play uh, some some college down there for a preseason game and threw 8 pitches and blew it out even more. So I probably went from a partial tear to a full tear, and that 4 months was basically just wasted when I could have just went in and got surgery right then and there and been like full ready to go by the time the next season started. But yeah, that's just not the
What?
way they wanted to
So
play it.
what exactly was the injury? You fully tore your
Uh,
What?
UCL? I don't know.
Okay.
Just the MCL, like right through here. It's basically the thing that
Okay.
the tendon that or ligament that gives your elbow like full support of just that whipping motion of the elbow traveling through the zone. That was just gone.
Okay. And if I remember right, Tommy John surgery used to kind of be like a death sentence for baseball players, right? Like if you had it, it was like you're
You're done.
compromised forever, like you're done,
Hmm.
right? But it's not so much that now, right? A lot of people are coming. Didn't Otani, didn't he have that surgery recently?
Oh, dude,
Shohei
there's a
Otani.
number of guys that have gotten it.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what the percentage is, but I bet it's like pretty high up there of people in the pros that have it now. Because
Okay.
most of the time, people who come back from Tommy John end up throwing a couple miles an hour faster just because like that's the best care they've ever taken care of their arm through the recovery process. In my
Hmm.
case, I didn't really get that. I lost about 2, 3 miles an hour, but I was never a blow it by you kind of guy. I never touched 90 miles an hour. I was more of a spot up and have a really good curve slide change kind of guy. So I didn't really
Okay.
mind that I lost a few miles an hour, even though I was getting close to that 90 mile an hour mark. I was usually in like the 86 to 88 mile an hour range. Now I'm like 83 to 85, but that's fine. It's no big deal. I don't know. I mean, yeah, obviously you can tell it bugs me a little bit. Every pitcher wants to throw as hard as possible,
Right.
but when you're a two-way guy, it doesn't matter. I just love being in the outfield, being on the field at all times.
Okay. So you have this surgery. How long was the recovery time on that?
Physically about 18 months, but mentally, whenever I stepped on the mound, like I would
Yeah.
always just be thinking of my elbow, like, oh, it's a little tight. What if it blows up again? I don't want to
Sure.
go
Sure.
back through
Another
another
18
surgery.
months.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah.
So like I was saying earlier, after I had recovered, I just mentally wasn't on the mound. Like before the surgery, I was on the mound just bad mouthing the batter in my head, like saying, "Oh, how dare you step in the box? Like you think you can actually touch this pitch?" And then after the surgery, stepping on the mound, I was thinking, "Oh God, I hope this doesn't hurt my elbow." So like
Hmm.
my self talk between pitch to
Yeah.
pitch was totally different. I was thinking my elbow rather than thinking, "Who's this Johnny stepping into the box thinking he can get a base hit off me?"
Hmm. And how
So
did that?
mentally, oh,
Yeah. What does that do to your performance?
oh, it went down. It really
Hmm.
like I was not locating like I used to.
Okay.
And it just like the speed of the game, it sped up on me. I wasn't able to slow things down at all because I was just thinking about my elbow, and I didn't get over that until after I graduated and started playing men's league. But then again,
Hmm.
I wasn't really 100% ready to go physically until like halfway through my senior year at Western, my last season,
Hmm.
and at that point, a lot of the younger kids had kind of earned their spot in the rotation, and
Hmm.
I kind of got neglected and set off to the side. And the only times I ever got to come in and pitch my last year, which kind of sucked, was when we were up or down like 10, 15 runs, and Coach Walker just said, "Alex, go finish the game out or get an inning done for us." And I'm like, it was almost like disrespectful. Like you don't want to put me in pinch situations. You don't want to put me.
Right.
You don't trust that I can get us out of a clutch inning, and that also kind of stepped on my confidence a little bit. I
Sure.
liked like going like all the way from high school ball through until this injury. I was like the go-to guy to get something done when it needed to get done. And after the injury, coming back from it, I was no longer my role, and so I was trying to figure out who am I again on this team? Like what's my
Hmm.
position? But
Hmm.
yeah.
So then you graduate. You start training people. This opportunity comes up. You try out, and they say you're good. Let's do it.
Yeah, so the tryouts were pretty. It honestly kind of felt like a camp. We showed up, all outfielders showed up, and we were able to get their work in from like 9 to 11. We got like two throws into second base and only one throw into third just to kind of see your accuracy and arm strength. And after that, you just got a few rounds hitting live on the on the field under the bubble screen. And after that was over, they would call all the outfielders up and they'd call out like 8 or 9 numbers, and we'd all have a number, our tryout number. And he's like, "All right, if you hear your number, come back for the scrimmage at 1:30." And fortunately, I was called out of the outfielders, and so that kind of lifted the pressure off of me, thinking, okay, I don't really need to perform all my best pitching wise, because I was planning on trying out for an outfielder and a pitcher. And so I
Hmm.
showed up for the pitchers 2 hours later after the infielders went through pretty much the same exact routine, and same story. They liked what they saw uh, on the mound in the bullpen, and then if they like that, they're like, all right, go get in line. You're gonna throw during the scrimmage, and they seem to like what they saw on the mound. Still haven't gotten a chance to throw live in a game yet, but we're only 3 games into the season. But honestly, I'd be happy with just staying in the lineup and holding down center field right now because I'm freaking loving it. I'm like a retriever out there, just waiting for a ball to be thrown at me or hit at me.
Yeah. So now, were you nervous at all? Because I mean, it wasn't like you were practicing baseball skill stuff during those 2 years, right? I mean, you were basically like just working
No,
and being
I
an
wasn't really
adult,
doing
right?
anything baseball wise. Like
Yeah.
the only thing baseball wise I was doing was giving a few pitching lessons to some little kids, and
Hmm.
up until up until I heard about the tryouts was about 2 months before the tryouts. I'm like, holy crap, okay, I need to get back into gear. And so I was trying to throw like 5 days a week. The hardest part was just getting a facility to hit in. And I
Hmm.
hate to admit it, but like I was only I mean, I got a tee, I got some wiffle balls. I hit in the old elementary school field as much as I could, but I was only able to get into a cage and find someone to throw to me once 2 days before the tryouts were, and I was nervous. Like I didn't think I was going to be able to perform, but I was the only guy to show up to practice or the tryouts to hit 2 out of the yard during BP, and I don't know where that came out of, but it showed up at a good time, that's for sure. But yeah, my brother Garrett, he was a huge help. I broke, I was just destroying his thumb, throwing bullpens to him all the time, playing long toss with him all the time at
Yeah.
various parks throughout Salem. He was a huge help. He dedicated himself to me, and luckily he was kind of in between jobs. He like went through hell with his previous job, and just like kind of took a couple months off, just like I don't want to work for a while. I got a couple
Sure.
job interviews lined up. People want me to work for them, so I'm just gonna take like a prolonged vacation. And
Hmm.
that was perfect timing because he dedicated 3, sometimes 4 days a week just to play long toss with me and work with me baseball wise.
Hmm.
And that definitely helped bring my confidence up a little bit going into tryouts. But I
Yeah.
still had those nerves running through me that day, thinking I haven't played at a competitive level like since like 2014 when I was playing consistently at Chemeketa, because I didn't get to play that first season at Western because of Tommy John. And after I had healed from Tommy John and got the sign off from the doctor, I was kind of set off to the side at that point. And so I was just
Hmm.
thinking, man, do I still have what it takes? Like, do I still have that
Yeah.
competitive edge to compete with all these guys? And I, honestly, I just showed up. I was super nervous the morning of the tryouts, and I went and saw my massage therapist that like gave me a really good mental talk, saying, "Dude, Alex, like you were given a gift. Like it doesn't matter how long you've been away from the sport. You were given a gift that doesn't just go away, and it would be an absolute waste of your gift not to go out and show people what you can do." And honestly, just hearing that I was just repeating that in my head over and over from when I left his office, showed up to the ballpark, and I was no longer putting pressure on myself. I was just thinking, let's just have a freaking good time. Let's just share my gift with people. Let's just like enjoy this day, enjoy this moment, and if I don't make it, I don't make it. It's not like it's going to be the very end. If I don't make this league, then I can always still play men's league. Like no big deal.
Hmm.
I don't have the thoughts that, oh, I need to go pro. I already have a career in line. This isn't do or die right now. Um, and I think just lifting those nerves, seeing him that morning, him telling me what he did, helped me get through that day to be able to perform the way I did and to show the coaches there that I kind of belong in the league. And so far, it's going well.
Yeah, and I want to talk about because you just played a game. I saw someone posted something on social media that you had just played a game and you hit a grand slam or something. Is
Yeah, that came out of
that
nowhere.
sounds
That's my
right?
first
Okay.
career grand slam. Like I've hit a lot of home runs in my days, but never in those situations where the bases were loaded. Yeah, the weekend went pretty well. Day one, we played against the Volcanoes. I struck out my first at bat. It was just weird seeing upper 80s come in at me again from 60 feet 6 inches away. That's something I hadn't
Sure.
seen all that much of. I swung over a slider, felt stupid, but something changed in me right after that. Like the nerves were going, like for sure. I was the
Sure.
two spot hitter. Got not a ton of people in the stands because of COVID, but there were people
Mm-hmm.
watching. I'm like, oh crap, I hope I don't look stupid in front of them. But yeah,
Hmm.
after that first at bat, I just kind of brushed it off. I'm like, why am I so nervous? Just take yourself back to that tryout day. Have fun. Just do your thing. And then every at bat after that, every at bat. Sorry, my headset's trying to shut off. Okay, was uh anyways, every at bat after that, I was just grinding. The pitcher hated throwing to me because I would get two strikes on me, and then I just foul pitch after pitch off until I
Mm-hmm.
line out or fly out or walk, and ended up ending that game just I think 1-4, 1-5, 1-4 with a walk, which I'm okay with. But honestly, I want to end the season hitting over 300. And then
Sure.
game two, uh, yeah, game two, same thing, just battling at the plate. My first five ABs, I think I got hit once, walked once, and then just battling the other ones. Uh, just lining out to play. I think I flew out once, and I was honestly like just getting a little pissed off. Like, why haven't I gotten a base hit yet this game? I had like five at bats, um, and it just the stars were aligned, bases were loaded. They bring in their closer who's throwing heat, who used to play AAA ball, and I just thought, he's going to try to get ahead of me first pitch. Like he thinks he can throw heat. He's just going to throw a fastball right down the middle. I'm just going to be ready to swing at it. And I just told myself swing first pitch, and luckily he threw a fastball right down the middle first pitch, and I just basically hit it up in the air. And that Volcano Stadium is in favor for lefties because I swear the wind always blows out into right field, and you just hit a moonshot, and the wind's going to push it the rest of the way, and that's what happened. And I thought I was going to be a fly out, so I was just sprinting around first base, pissed off. Then all of a sudden the stands went wild, and then I found out it was a grand slam. So I would just yeah hustled around the bases, was kind of in disbelief for a little bit. People were asking me how'd that feel. I'm like, dude, I didn't even get all of it. Like it wasn't that great of a hit. The wind just took it, and
Yeah.
but it definitely did. It did feel good. It did. Um,
Okay.
Honestly, what even felt even better, just because that wasn't all barrel. I had a diving play earlier in that game in center, and it was like probably one of my better career diving plays.
Okay.
Coming in, we had our knuckleball pitcher throwing early in, and I was just like waiting for someone to get jammed, and so yeah, guy got jammed, little blooper into right center, and I just full speed dive, like sprinting in, caught it 2 inches above the ground, got up, threw it to second for a double play because the guy on second thought, oh, there's no chance this guy's going to catch this, but they don't realize
Wow.
how much ground I can cover in the outfield. So I
Yeah.
still got my wheels, that's for sure. I'm definitely
Okay.
confident speed wise. I haven't slowed down
Okay.
much since high school. But
Okay. That's good.
yeah, I was just having a lot of fun. Like it just feels really good to be playing competitive baseball again. Like out of men's league, playing against some guys that actually want to go to the next level, that have the talent to go to the next level. It makes me want to play at my best, and that's honestly when I enjoy the game the most.
It's interesting because a couple times you've referenced your self talk. Do you have like a specific strategy for how you use your self talk to optimize your performance?
Well, I definitely like most people are. I'm my biggest enemy. The voice in my
Mm-hmm.
head is my biggest enemy, and again, I go back to my massage therapist who has a lot of practice with self talk because he's a long distance runner, and for guys who run like 26 miles at a time, like what are you gonna do if you're not
Mm-hmm.
like talking to yourself and keeping yourself motivated like 3 hours into a run?
Right.
And I told him about tryouts and just like no, not tryouts. Basically, I was just telling him after game one uh, some of the self talk I was having, and he brought it to mind that I was doubting myself a lot, and I was telling myself, oh, what if I look foolish out here? What if I don't have what it takes? And I'm gonna try to my best to remember these three takeaways that he said. He's like, all right, this is what I want you to repeat to yourself. Uh, like every inning going into this next game. And he's like, I want you to start doing this, stop doing this, and continue doing this. And he told me, and I feel like these did help kind of keep me like level-headed. He's like, I want you to continue to be the best athlete out there on the field, to be the guy who hustles the most out of anybody else. I'm like, check, I got that, no problem. I want you to stop doubting yourself. No more negative talk. Like, no more, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do that. And I'm like, okay, cut that out. None of that. And I want you to start believing in yourself like everybody in those stands believe in you. Like, those people pay to get in to watch big leaguers play. They get in, see a guy step into the box, and be like, oh, this is a big leaguer. He knows what he's doing. He could probably jack it out of the yard right now. And that's not what I'm thinking when I step up to the plate. I'm thinking, oh, God, I hope I'm ready for this pitch, this and that. But I need to think, yeah, like, I'm at this level for a reason. I wasn't just handed this. Like, I worked hard to be who I am, as skilled as I am, to get where I am. And those people that watch you step into the box or get up on the mound, they think you're one of the best players that they've seen in person, and you need to start telling yourself, yeah, I'm the best player you've seen in person. I'm going to show you. And that
Yeah,
self-talk really kind of helped me out.
it's crazy how what will people think of me is something that creeps in. Like, everyone has to deal with that at some point when they're performing. And when you step outside of it, it's such a, like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
if you go up and you play terrible, like, guess what? That's still a hell of a lot better than anybody watching could do. You know what I mean? And it's like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't know. That's always been fascinating to me too, because like everyone seems to have that issue where they're getting ready to do the thing that they're really passionate about and they love, and they think, oh well, what happens if I screw up, or what happens? What are people going to think of me if I fail? It's like, it's such a crazy thing. You know, I'm sure it's like there's some kind of DNA, like it's biologically hardwired into us, but it's so crazy, like how limiting that thought can be, you know? So it's good that you're like aware of it and like addressing it.
Hmm. Yeah, like, just if I wasn't aware of it and didn't talk about it with other people, and they didn't give me tips, tricks, tools to kind of overcome it, it would take over. Like,
Yeah.
it's a big thing for me, and I just need to trust that the work that I put in is enough, and I don't need to step into the box thinking, oh, I didn't do enough.
And let's talk specifically about, since you're a personal trainer too, let's get some people some tips. So, like, if you were talking to some of your teammates who sort of let themselves go, or working parents, what if you were saying, hey, here's like the two or three critical points to stay healthy or get healthy, what would you give them?
Well, first off, I would say consistency is key. You can't go through the roller coaster of motivation. Like, when you're at your low, you can't just stop, because what you gain in a month, you lose in a week, is what I always say. So there's no
Mm-hmm.
point in quitting when you lose that motivation. You just got to push through it and know that you're gonna feel better at the end. Like, you never leave the gym thinking, oh God, I wish it didn't work out. But you will 100% of the time feel guilty for not going to the gym on a day you should have.
Mm-hmm.
So consistency is key for sure. If you set a routine to go 5 days a week, go 5 days a week. Don't go three, don't go four, because that eventually becomes two, one. I don't feel like going this week. So be consistent. Two is one of the easiest ways to become consistent is find, like, the best exercise you can do for yourself is doing something that you enjoy. So if you don't like weightlifting, don't weightlift. If you don't like running on a treadmill, don't run on a treadmill. Find something that's fun, that doesn't really feel like working out. Like, for me, I enjoy lifting weights. Like, that's fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy feeling my body get into that pump state where my chest feels bigger, my arms feel bigger, I look bigger, and so that's a satisfying feeling for me. But other people aren't like that. So if you need to get your cardio in, find a Zumba class. If you like to dance, do Zumba. If you if you hate just going to the gym, find a recreational team you can play around with. If you played basketball back in the day, do that. Racquetball, is a big one that it's becoming bigger and bigger. That's some crazy cardio playing racquetball. Now I won't play it
Mm-hmm.
because I got my teeth knocked out in second grade doing it right when my adult teeth came in, so I stay away from those racquetball courts.
Okay.
But anything, just something that'll get you sweating that doesn't feel like you're going to work. And you may have to play around with all kinds of different ideas, like find
Okay.
different groups of people to introduce you to different things. So there's one, consistency. Two, find something that you enjoy. And three, this kind of contradicts that second one, but variety. Trying to just do something different. Your body's really good at making things easy. And when things get easy, you're gonna either one start plateauing and not seeing progress, and that usually leads to becoming discouraged of not seeing any more progress in what you're doing. You feel like you're wasting your time. So I'm all about variety in the gym. You're not going to see me lifting 5 days a week. You'll see me run one day and stretch. You'll see me lift another day with like long rests, short work periods. And you'll see me go through crazy high intensity interval trainings another day where I'm like only resting for 10 seconds and working my butt off for another 50. My workouts are very scattered and all over the place, but I know that my body needs it in order to keep getting better, stronger, faster, healthier by doing a different kind of workout every day. I'm not going to squat 5 days a week or squat, bench, deadlift 5 days a week. I only pick one main lift and do that maybe twice a week. And then the next week I choose a different focus muscle group. And then the next week I do something different. And then all those weeks I'm throwing in a cardio day, a hit day, a yoga day. Just trying to mix it up. I don't ever want my body to get used to my workout routine. I want to always kind of shock the system a little bit. So it's having to make its changes and constantly want to be ready for the next new thing I throw at it.
Okay. And what are you doing? What's your philosophy on eating?
Oh gosh, eating. I'm so far from a nutritionist, but
Okay.
I say don't be afraid of fats. Don't be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and stay away from elimination diets. Those are stupid.
Okay.
You're gonna need a little bit of everything in your diet at some point. You're not gonna go to an elimination diet like cut out sugar 100%
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of your life. Like that's not
Mm-hmm.
realistic. And your metabolism will adjust. Just like I said, your body it's really good at getting used to what you do to it. So if you cut sugar out and you cut fats out, whatever it is, 6 months down the road you lost 100 pounds. Awesome. And now you start introducing just a little bit of that into your diet again. Well, your body doesn't know how to digest that anymore, so all of a sudden it just goes right into long-term storage. It just gets stored into fat, and everybody knows that you can gain that weight twice as fast back as you lost it,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even faster. So I'm not all about elimination diets. I just think just minimize what and try to just be smart about it. Everybody knows what's good, what's bad. Try to stay away from the aisles of a grocery store. Go around the outskirts, all the stuff that expires within a week or two. That's the stuff that's probably best for you. Stuff that doesn't have a shelf life of 4 years. Get rid of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, just stay away from processed stuff. But like I said,
Okay.
I'm not much of a nutritionist. I don't really preach that stuff. I just say you know what's
Yeah.
good for you, what's not good for you. Don't
I
eliminate
was
one
kind of
thing or the other.
asking. Yeah, I was kind of more curious, like what you were eating.
Oh, what I'm eating?
Yeah.
Well, oh man. Well, since I've been living with my parents, um, my I usually just eat whatever my mom makes, which is usually just like
Okay.
enchiladas, Alfredos.
Okay.
They make steaks a lot, so that helps me out. I
So you're
eat pretty
not.
good when I'm
You
at my
don't have
parents'.
like a specific anything you're following. Like you just.
No, and honestly, I've never
Okay.
gone by a crazy routine. I did go on a fasting diet one time where I would only eat between the hours of like 4 and 8 p.m.
So you're intermittent
And
fasting. Okay.
yeah, and honestly, I did enjoy that. I mean, it sucked adjusting to that for sure. I felt like a freaking
Sure.
zombie in the mornings throughout the day until that 4 o'clock hour, but my body adjusted to it after about a month, and then I no longer was hungry during those times, and that helped me kind of cut quite a bit of weight. That and I stopped drinking alcohol, so I went from like 205 to 170 in like
Wow.
4 or 5 months, and I shoot felt really good. But now,
Hmm.
um, ever since baseball has been on my mind, I stopped that intermittent fasting thing. I just started eating whenever I was hungry and just tried to be smart about what I put in myself. And
Hmm.
yeah, so but I don't go and like candy isn't my thing. I don't eat desserts.
Hmm.
I typically will just eat regular meals, but I won't go have a slice of pie, a slice of cake, grab ice cream.
Okay, so you
That's
don't have
stuff
a
I haven't
sweet
had in forever.
tooth.
No,
Okay.
well, I do for sure, I do, but
Oh, you just have
like
avoided it.
after a while, you're really good at just creating that disciplinary system and just like saying no to it. When you
Hmm.
have those goals in mind of like what you really want, I know that eating a candy bar or having a bowl of ice cream isn't going to help me become a better baseball player, but I know having a a lunch or dinner with some good proteins, minerals, and nutrients in it, I know that that will help fuel me for the next day for my trainings and stuff like that. But like if I have a bowl of ice cream, like this isn't going to fuel me. This isn't going to help me get energy for my next workout. Um, but
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think too hard on it. I don't dwell on my nutrition part of it. I just try to be smart. I just try not to be stupid about what I put in my body. And
Okay.
yeah.
And if people want to see you play, is there a way for them to do that both locally and, if they're not local?
I do know, and I don't know the exact website, but I'm sure you could go onto the Mavericks. I need to check out what the website is called.
Well,
But
you
there
can send
is
it
a
to me.
way to,
I can link it in the show notes if you give me the website afterwards.
yeah.
So, but
If you go to like
they're streaming the games.
they are streaming the games. Yeah, my
Okay.
parents have been visiting my brother and his wife in the East Coast for the last 3 weeks, and they watched our series this last weekend, all through
Okay.
streaming, and it's okay quality. They got an announcer that could get a little bit better, um,
Dang, that
in
announcer's
my
gonna be
opinion.
salty if he sees this. He's gonna be super salty. You better watch out. He's
It's
gonna say mean things about you when you get up there.
That's okay. That's fine.
Man.
But um, anyways, yeah, you can stream it. It's pretty good quality. They could use a few more camera angles, but I mean, it is just minor league ball. It's nothing spectacular. So I mean,
It's gonna be
it's
like
really good. I shouldn't be complaining. And
now batting Alan Flenderson is gonna screw your name up. Wrong
from
number.
Salem, Oregon.
Uh,
Um,
batting 192.
yeah, just
He's
say
just
all
gonna
my bad
crush you.
stats. Yeah, he had a drop
You're in
catch
trouble,
last
dude.
week in the third inning
Yeah,
against
you're in
this. Yeah,
trouble. You done wrote
let's just
yourself off.
pretend like I didn't say that. I'm really good
Uh,
at stepping on my stepping in my own mouth. But anyways, the Mavericks Independent League.com is probably
okay,
where you'd want to go to get
okay.
the most information. You can buy the tickets from that website. I'm sure you can get information on how to stream the games from that
And so, where are
website.
you playing? If people, because are the games local?
Yeah, and everybody asked me if we play in Portland. I'm like, no, no, that was just a 1973 to 1977 thing when the Portland Mavericks became an independent organization that used to play against minor league teams. And
Okay,
now that league came, or that team is what inspired this league, the Mavericks League, to be a thing. And ever since the Volcanoes got dropped by the Giants, and the Giants moved on to, I think it's the it might be the Emeralds. I'm not 100% sure on that. The
okay.
Volcanoes and their stadium just became vacant, and they're like, well, what are we going to do with our stadium? So I've noticed they've just been renting it out to high school teams to play there.
Mm,
I was there the other day, and they were doing like a high school graduation.
right.
But they rent it out, I think, like $1,000 a day for other programs to come in and just use it so they can keep it up and afloat. And
Hmm.
it would have sucked for that place to be demolished because I remember growing up as a kid watching the big leaguers play there, and I was
Right.
always wanting to play there myself. So yeah,
Mm,
this happened, and they came up with the idea and got grants and fundings to create the Mavericks League. And I'm sure the league will grow in the years to come, but right now it's just the four teams: the Portland Mavericks, one of them, Salem Kaiser Volcanoes. Then you got the Salem Senators and the Campesino de Salem Kaiser team. So just four teams making up the league. Um, there was a tryout to make up some of these players, but honestly, I would say only 30% of the people who showed up at the tryouts made the teams, and like they just drafted guys signed and draft players out of the minors, and some Division 1 and Division 2 college guys all make up these teams basically, who all want to either get back into the pros or make the pros. And so
So is
yeah,
that
everything
sort of
is at
your
Kaiser.
is that kind of your goal too? Is like you're gonna see if you can't move up and move on? Is
Oh
that
yeah,
kind of okay?
yeah, that dream that I thought had disappeared had definitely come back once I heard my name get called during the draft. I thought, oh shoot, I got a chance again. Like, this is the league you want to be in if you want a pro scout to eventually see you. And so I'm definitely trying to get back up to my full potential of playing on the field. I'm definitely the healthiest person I've been in my entire life right now. Now I'm just trying to get back into full baseball swing of things. And I definitely am still shaking the rust off a bit up at the plate. I got things locked down in the outfield. I'm still tracking baseballs really well, but definitely stepping in the box and seeing some firm pitches come in. That's what I'm getting most used to.
Okay.
It's all about the
And
timing and getting my eyes back.
if people are trying to follow along, I mean, they can go watch the games on that website. But like, are you chronicling it on a YouTube channel, on your Instagram, or like, are you doing anything to kind of like that people could follow along with, or just the website watching the games?
I'm definitely sharing a lot of the news from the league on my Facebook page, and I'm
Okay.
sharing some of the highlights on my Instagram page, but that's mostly just personal highlights on the Instagram page. But definitely a lot of like I shared the last weekend's league highlights on my Facebook page to go check it out, and it just was all the teams and some of the bigger plays that they made throughout the week, some of the bigger hits made. So I do share a lot of that because, I mean, the more fans we get out to the league, the bigger it's going to be in the future. And
Sure.
honestly, all I want to do is like have a bigger, better, more competitive league to play in for the years to come if they want to invite me back next year. So I'm
Sure.
all for it. I'm 100% behind this league and supporting it. I think it's awesome that they brought this in to play.
So if people want to follow along, they should follow you on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can, Tyler can, he's doing all the producing for me. We can put your Instagram handle up on the screen, and then we can link it in the show notes and all that too. So, okay. Cool. Did I forget anything? Did I miss anything? When's your next
Dude,
game?
our next game is this Friday at 6:30 against the Salem Senators, and then we
Okay.
play
And are all the
Saturday.
games at Salem Kaiser?
Yeah,
Volcano
every
Stadium?
game is at
Okay.
the Volcano Stadium in Salem Kaiser.
Okay.
And then we play Saturday, Sunday. Both games are at 1 o'clock.
And you said they can buy tickets on the website. Can they also buy them at the gate?
Yeah, you can buy them at the gate.
Okay.
Now, I just did find out they don't accept cash for some reason. It's probably because of COVID.
Okay.
So, yeah, I had
Okay.
some of my clients that are a little old-fashioned tried paying with cash, and they said, no, we don't accept that. And I'm like, what?
Okay.
Who turns down
All
cash?
right.
But, yeah, so don't bring any money with you.
Okay. Bitcoin. They only accept Bitcoin.
Yeah, only Bitcoin
Okay.
or Dogecoin,
All right.
whatever it is.
No, Doge. They're not taking Doge. It's diving too much right now. Okay. So did I forget anything though?
I think you covered it all, man. Like
Okay.
that's my whole baseball story right there, from high school to
That was
college
good.
to now.
Perfect. All right. Well, I appreciate you being here, man.
Cool.
Thanks. All right. Hang on one sec.
Yeah, thanks for the interview. That was awesome.
Yeah, dude. Okay. So you